Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful 16th of June, 2024. Coming up this episode of the Crusty podcast, episode 292. That's right, Traitors and Liars. Yes, more government philandering in regards to the insight on how many MPs have been influenced, and of course, how much more money we got to spend, and yada, 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 and taxpayer dilemmas, and of course, all this money coming out of nowhere to make us even broker. All that and more come to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Please stick around. Listener and viewer discretion is advised because I will swear, smoke some cigarettes, make some funny faces, and probably get really, really mad. Stick around.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues, and life. Here's Crusty.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 292 of the Crusty podcast. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. You like his title card says, Traitors and Liars, more drama, more dilemmas, and more BS coming from our elected officials. And this podcast is also brought to you in part and supported by the Veterans for Freedom Network. That's right, Veterans Stand 2, Veterans for Freedom. And coming soon, Veterans for Freedom TV. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, like-minded veterans such as myself and others, and other Canadians out there who want to speak their minds will probably join this network, so stay tuned for updates on that, Veterans for Freedom TV. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. Hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday. Where I'm living right now, it is goddamn miserable. Now, not because of climate change, just because it's June and it's raining. We didn't have much rain in May. We're getting rain now, but still, needless to say, things are getting greener, things are getting lush and lovely and hypnotic and all that good stuff. And summer is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Just a reminder, too, if you're liking hear what you see, please click like and subscribe. Share this podcast all over your social media platforms, too. Help us Canucks get our words out there. And a special thank you out there to my American listeners. I just saw the stats on my Podbean. Fantastic. I'm getting more from California, Virginia, Georgia, upstate New York, Illinois. Thank you very much, my American friends. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Even got a couple more downloads from Morocco and the Philippines accordingly, too. So please click like, subscribe, share this all over your social media platforms, and do not hesitate. I ask again, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, to be inclusive and all that kind of stuff. Don't hesitate to donate if you can. I would like to get a bunch of subscribers to donate maybe $3 or $5 on a regular basis just to build up some income. I do appreciate the donations out there that I've received so far. Thank you once again, Sean. You are awesome. Thank you for that donation. Excuse me, too many cigarettes. Needless to say, thank you everyone who has donated and commented. Please keep commenting, thumbs up. And if you see this video live or premieres, please like, subscribes, comment, all that good stuff. Send little hearts, 100%, all that good stuff. Now to the meat and potatoes of the show, ladies and gentlemen, as the title card said. So I downloaded a new thumbnail application there. I downloaded that, try to get it on the go. As you can see right here, Traitors and Liars. Yeah, it's copyrighted. Needless to say, I don't know if it will show properly, but I tried it out and it looks pretty good. Something happened with my Microsoft stuff here. Needless to say, I'm going to put some more title cards up when I can. But you wonderful people out there, I know you appreciate my show nonetheless without all the fancy title cards and thumbnails to make everything popular. Anyhow, like the title card says, Traitors and Liars. So there's more and more drama coming this week that's happened this week in regards to what's been going on in Parliament with the 11 MPs or 10 MPs or the certain number of MPs that have colluded and joined and who have given information to foreign entities, i.e. China, India, and possibly Iran. So I've got a video here from Adrienne Batra, writer extraordinaire from Toronto Sun. She sits with Warren Kinsella and Brian Lilly and discuss the whole matter. Rebel Media, I'm going to put a video up here too in regards to what Freeland has done. It's a month old, but needless to say, Ezra Levant does an excellent job discussing and dissecting how Chrysler Freeland's approach to the finance in this country has really, really screwed it up. And plus, Jagmeet Singh and his phony outrage in regards to what's going on with this whole redacted information that has been given in regards to these individuals that have colluded with foreign entities. Firstly, I'm just going to go off the top of my head here too. The powers that be know exactly what they're doing. Okay, they do. So regardless of this whole, oh, I don't know this and we don't know that, you can see how the NDP and the Liberals are basically telling Polyev that, well, you should look into this and talk about this, blah, 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 blah. But you see a current theme here with all these politicians. Now, Elizabeth May the other day, Elizabeth May, Miss Green Party, let's have another glass of rye. She's an alcoholic, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care if I get nailed for slander for this. I don't trust her. Okay. And not because she's a female or because she represents the Green Party. It's because she's a career politician, like a lot of these people in Ottawa right now. All right. And I personally don't care what your gender is if you're in Parliament. What I care is that you want to get the information and you represent your constituents to the effing fullest. Okay. I've said this numerous times in the podcast, not the party, not the person, but the constituents and the country. And that holds true to American politics, British politics, German politics, any working democracy, not the person, not the party, but the constituents and the country. It's that simple. However, we've lost focus on that every time a new election comes around in this country or this province or municipality. We constantly have to worry about a certain status quo that is really, really screwing up Canada as we speak. Now, I understand the inflation that's been going on is a worldwide phenomenon, so we're told. However, when you look at the Pandam and how Sweden handled its shit, people had a little more freedom. People were moving about and people were allowed to make money. What's Canada's excuse, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, the climate. Oh, the Pandam. Oh, the jibby jab. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going on. Bullshit. So Traitors and Liars, I think, is a fitting title for this episode. Okay. Now, Krista Freeland had a video there. I actually had it queued up the other day. I don't know where it went. But she was basically going off the rocker in regards to, oh, don't you want Canada to be democratic? And how do you feel about all these rich people that have to live in gated communities and they're not paying their fair share? How do you feel about teenage girls not getting birth control? How do you feel about certain diabetics not getting their medicine? Oh, how do you feel about this democracy? Well, I feel like this democracy should help people get ahead by their own means with less taxation and more representation. You know what I mean? I feel that people should get ahead by their own means without any kind of government oversight. So if a teenage girl wants contraception, she can get it. But what's wrong with teenage boys getting contraception too? What's wrong with two consenting adults or two consenting young adults who want to get busy, look after and take responsibility for their shit? Condoms are everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. There's many choices out there for young men, especially young women, whether they want to do this or do that or do not, whatever they want to do without government oversight or saying, here, we're going to give you free birth control just to make your life easier. Right? Come on. Hello. Wake up and smell the crack, ladies and gentlemen. Because obviously they're proving that it doesn't smoke themselves.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And you're back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 292 of the Crusty Canuck podcast, Traitors and Liars. Yes, Miss Freeland, Mr. Trudeau, and Yagmeet Thing, all on their virtual toast tour, talking about how they're really, really trying hard for us Canucks. Anyhow, I will put a video up here from Ezra Levant from Rebel Media, Rebel News. And he basically dissects her abilities and her identity or her stance in Canada very, very well. It's about 7 minutes long, so I won't interrupt. I might pause if I have to. But you wonderful people out there, you gorgeous, wonderful people out there, you decide and you think for yourselves, as we all should in this day and age of a digital enhancements without worrying about government overreach. So you ladies and gentlemen decide yourselves what you want to see, what you want to hear, but assess accordingly. So we all get a fair shot at understanding the buffoonery that lies before us.
A terrible choice for anything important in government. She really has never had a real job. She's a finance minister, but has no background whatsoever in financial matters. She's not an economist or an accountant. In fact, her real life has been a disaster. I don't know if you know this, but she went away from Canada for a very long time. She spent some time in the States, and for some reason, someone at the large company Reuters Thomson appointed her to run their big high-tech project called Reuters Next. Hundreds of staff, tens of millions of dollars poured into it. It was going to be their next high-tech thing. She ran it into the ground. She blew millions, tens of millions of dollars. When she was done as their leader, they just shut it down and walked away. Let me quote to you from an incredible recap of it. I think this was in BuzzFeed, which did a story on it. I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs. This is how she ran a company into the ground. But where instead of thinking of the company, think of what she's done in the department she's run. Let me quote. The project decided against using any internal resources. The belief was that they were mired in bureaucracy and they were not the team to build a new vision for editorial, the current Reuters employee said. The decision to hire outside vendors infuriated skeptical Reuters insiders, said yet another former Reuters employee who was involved with the next project. Costs steadily rose with new hires and payments to vendors and consultants as the project dragged on, and the launch date was continually postponed. While earlier articles estimated the cost at around $5 million, sources close to the project said that actual figure was 3 to 4 times that amount, or between $15 and $20 million. Moreover, the first former Reuters employee said that the Activate, that was a consultant they'd hired, was paid $300,000 a month. I won't go on, but you can see a few things. Refusing to take advice from anyone who knows what they're doing, hiring outside contractors and consultants at shocking high prices, not listening to anyone, and then, of course, she just bailed out and walked away as the whole thing crumpled. Imagine putting that woman in charge of anything. I mean, it's like the Arrive Can scandal. They were the past was sending us a warning about the future. Before she destroyed that product, seriously, when she was done with Reuters Next, Reuters just walked away from that crater. They didn't even try and pick up the pieces. Before that, she wrote a pop culture book called Plutocrats, where she pretended to be against the super rich, but she basically fawned over billionaires. It's sort of like Lifestyles at the Rich and Famous. I think that's where she met George Soros, the billionaire leftist. And they sort of had a platonic romance. And Chrystia Freeland was hired as George Soros's official biographer. That was her title until she entered Parliament. She did not disconnect from Soros at all. I don't know if you remember this, but Trudeau was elected in the fall of 2015. His first World Economic Forum meeting was in January 2016. Chrystia Freeland set that all up, and that was the famous meeting with Soros and Trudeau. And the larger version of the photo we always show you, Chrystia Freeland's there too. The three of them, that was the connection between Soros and Trudeau. Anyways, when she came back to Canada to run for Parliament, she had been away for so long, and she bought a house in Toronto for $1.3 million. And this made a little bit of news because it was such an expensive house. Of course, these days, the average house in Toronto is more than $1 million. I didn't find it particularly shocking that a woman in her 40s, married with kids, would buy a house in Toronto that was over $1 million. I have to tell you, that is the average price of a house now. What was bizarre and telling to me is that when she came back to Toronto, this was about 11 years ago, and she bought that house, and both her and her husband were working. I told you some of the projects she was on. She needed her parents to co-sign the loan for her, to co-sign the mortgage. And I'm not making fun of anyone. I mean, I think most people buying a house need help in Canada because houses are so extraordinarily expensive, largely because Trudeau has quadrupled immigration, and it's just supply and demand. If you bring in 2.2 million people last year, which Trudeau did, obviously housing prices are going to go up. So I'm not making fun of people who are having trouble paying their mortgage, but if you are in your 40s and you're working and your husband's working and you came from all these rock star jobs and you can't get a mortgage on your own, what does that say about your own credit, your own ability to save? And this is the person who's becoming finance minister. Anyways, let's take a quick look at the budget. A huge increase in taxes. I bet you didn't see that coming. Capital gains tax. Everyone on the left likes capital gains tax because it sucks it to the capitalists. It's a great idea until they all leave and go somewhere else where they can invest and take risks and make money, and it won't be taken from them. The carbon tax, of course, is being jacked up again. They have an idea for a tax on vacant land. Apparently, that's going to make people spend more money to buy houses. I think that's the theory on it. They say they want to help out millennials and Generation Z, so they're bringing in a vape tax. I think most people using vapes are young kids trying to get off of cigarettes, or even they'll not be young kids. It could be people of any age. You may not like vapes. They may not be cool. They may not be aesthetic, but they're a way for people to get off of cigarettes. Taxing them is only, of course, going to build up a black market. But of course, the liberal thing is all about spending. And this budget is nearly $53 billion more in spending than planned. Of course, they take care of their base, increased spending on the CBC. Of course, they're investing in anti-hate with over $1 billion in cumulative spending, $1 billion for their anti-hate, which of course is their own form of hate. They're already spending on the Online Harms Act, Bill C-63. It hasn't passed yet, but they're already budgeting for it. That's how certain they are. They're going to pass their censorship bill. They have $1 billion in there for spending on students, including for housing. That's a neat trick, given that about half of the students in this country are foreign, and they're getting help with housing. It's sort of unusual that way. In fact, this budget contemplates $1.1 billion for foreign asylum seekers. We're actually going to spend $1.1 billion. Gee, I wonder if that's going to attract even more migrants to our country.
Yeah. All this great aid, all this great stuff to help us out. Maybe you should look into the immigration consultants that have lied to people. Let's look at the immigration consultants that have convinced people from India and other countries to come to Canada, pay a fee to get in, and go to a school under a student visa, and then lie to them about how much more they have to pay and lie to them about how much they can contribute. Can we look at that? Right. And it's not racist to say that, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of shysters out there. Call them, I guess you can say, bureaucratic coyotes, kind of like what our friends down south have with border crossers, coyotes bringing people over in the name of human trafficking and slave labor, kind of like what they have here. But these guys are actual consultants bringing that in. And did you notice the part in the article and the story there about the whole hate speech, how much they want to invest in hate speech and online hate and harms, telling us they're doing this for our safety when we're really just trying to censor us. That's all it is. Right. So you can keep buttering up the poop sandwich and make us take a bite. But there's going to come a time when we're going to have to start throwing that crap back up again and giving it back to them proper.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
You're back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 292 of the Crusty Canuck podcast. That's right. Traitors and Liars. So we've seen the traitorous actions, traitorous, correct, not traitorous, traitorous actions, and of course, liars, right? So where's this money coming from? We're having less productivity in this country. It's been proven. I got a story here from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, Franco Tetrazzino, the director of this beautiful group of people that try to assess and give us the truth every time when taxes go up and ridiculous spending that all of our governments incur, no matter what time of year it is or what crisis is going on. So I'll leave that article in the description for you all, ladies and gentlemen. And just a reminder too, if you like and hear what you see, please click like and subscribe, share this content on all of your social media platforms. Take a look at my donation page. If I can get enough people to donate regularly, i.e. $3 or $5 a month, that would be super beneficial for me, ladies and gentlemen. Use the Ask Me app or my PayPal app or the donations page or that Buy Me a Coffee. Everything in there is set for you. You can decide how much you want to contribute. Things are getting tough. My wife and I are doing a check to check kind of thing every pay cycle. And there is a little bit of debt, but I'm not asking you to pay my debt. I'm not asking you to pay for things. Just kind of help us along our way if you can. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had to borrow some money. It's at a good rate. Needless to say, things are tough for everybody. Not that I expect you to pay my way for anything, But if you want to donate to this podcast on a regular basis, please do so. It'll help me out a great deal. If not, that's fine too. I'm not going to sit and demand like some of those gamer girls do, or some of those wannabe OnlyFans enthusiasts that want to shake their booty for a few little pounds or two. I'm not doing that, ladies and gentlemen. Even if I was back in my top shape, I still wouldn't do it. But that's just me, though. Anyway, carrying on with the show. Episode 292, Traitors and Liars. So, Mr. Jagmeet Singh made a stand the other day, about 2 days ago, in regards to what he saw and what he read in the INSOC report, the parliamentary committee investigating all these terrible things that have plundered our parliament. And it's interesting how he was put on the spot by certain reporters about talking about democracy and how they want to defend this democracy, yet he's still in cahoots with the Liberal Party, because Jagmeet Singh has backed up the Liberal Party since the last federal election just to keep their positions. Now, I was going to play a video there for you, ladies and gentlemen, but I'll leave it in the description. You decide amongst yourselves. I just get tired of all this bullshit. How else do you say it? It's bullshit. Here's elected officials. Doesn't matter what party they're with. Doesn't matter who they represent. They are elected officials, and the base salary of any elected MP is roughly $202,000 a year. Right? Now, I didn't cue that sound effect for the sake that I feel bad for them. I don't envy them. I don't admire them. I just, it's sad for you and I. Why? Because every year, every fiscal year in Canada, from April to April, it has been nothing but pay raises for these, and bonuses and incentives for those, and a higher pay rate for the MPs. Well, people like yourselves, people like me, people like my wife, my family, my friends, we get it up the chuff every time we got to file for our taxes, right? Those great super taxes that keep the social programs alive and switch on for all of us here, too. Bullshit. Now, I'm not saying let's abolish all taxes, but I am saying let's have a fair tax rate, and let's make sure productivity comes to this country as it should. Now, with the capital gains tax, it's been proven that no matter what you say or what you do or how you butter up that poop sandwich, okay, the people are going to get screwed. It doesn't matter if they're just doctors or a handful of lawyers. It's small business owners and it's property owners. Okay. If my father was to bequeath his land in Northern Ontario to me, I'd get stung for it. If any of my relatives wanted to give their land to their offspring or to my nieces or nephews or my cousins, they get stung for it. It wouldn't be beneficial because it's over $250,000, right? That's the Liberal plan of gouging more to pay the debt they've incurred. And this year alone, they're adding an additional, I think, $40 or $50 billion into the national debt. This country as a whole, ladies and gentlemen, is in debt to the tune of $1.2+ trillion. 1.2 billion, or correction, trillion. I have yet to see even a 500 grand in my possession. I have yet to even see anything close to 500 grand in my possession. And yet these guys give away. They announced recently they're going to add an additional $5 billion on loan to Ukraine. Where's that $5 billion coming from? The interest that we pay every day when we go to work. Where is this money coming from? It's not coming from our oil. It's not coming from our maple syrup. Not coming from our dairy. Not coming from our farmers. It's coming from you and I. Every time we go to work, we give an extra third of our day to the government. It's coming from every time we purchase gasoline, groceries, right? So when these fat cats with their base salary of $200,000 plus, in some cases $300,000 plus, they forget the little guys that pay their fucking way, that pay their wages, right? And the likes of Justin Trudeau, likes of Chrystia Freeland, likes of Jagmeet Singh, and of course, Elizabeth May, have some Ryan Ginger. They forget who lines their pockets. Shit simple. Now, when someone like Elizabeth May sits there and dictates to you and me, oh, there's nothing to see here, there's no names here, and I've seen the unredacted report. Nobody is on this list, so there's nothing to see. Yet Jagmeet Singh says there is. Right? And then they're on Pierre Poilievre's backside because he doesn't have the clearance, quote unquote, to look at it. But then by law, they're not allowed to say anything. So the powers that be know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing when it comes to the Canadian taxpayer. Up and down, up and down. Up the chuff, down the chuff, up the chuff, down the chuff. And what's that going to do for you and I? Right? They've all created a basic divide in their own rightful way. Okay? Now, if the election was called to tomorrow, I know who I'd be voting for. Right? It's about choices. Who is going to be the better person for the job? And you see by the examples I have presented to you, you wonderful people, you wonderful, loving human beings. Okay? You know who's the best person. We got to stop worrying about gender. We got to stop worrying about color. We have to start worrying about people who want to work and help other people out. We have to stop worrying about a certain status quo in the name of whatever ideology is nouveau and fancy right now. Here's an ideology I like. Basic liberty. You know, how liberals used to roll at one time. Okay? Where liberalism actually meant something. Where conservatism actually meant something. And when the New Democrats actually cared about working class people. You know, the people that do work at Oh Dark Stupid and get home late at night or late in the afternoon. People that go out of their way to help their kids and families out. Because that's what makes a democracy thrive. The ability to go out and do something. You don't need permission from an MP or an MPP or an MLA, you know, or a council person. You don't need permission to thrive. Yet we're forgetting that. So the liars and traitors that represent us today have got to go. Okay? We can all see the boiling point. We're all reaching it, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Excuse me. We're all seeing the anger. We're feeling the anger. I feel it every day. Every day I go to work and I come home. I look at the gas prices. Shit. Do I need another $25? Another $40? I don't know. Can I splurge? Can I scrounge? Okay. Yeah, I can. Right. I should quit these filthy things. I know, but we all got to have our vices too. I don't drink like I used to. That's a good thing. But some days I'm prone just to go grab a bottle of rye and just sit back and go, what the F? Okay? Really, what the F? And there's a lot of people out there hurting. A lot of people out there just going out of their fucking minds. And for what? Because the people they believe in to represent their values and interests are sitting there scrapping and tickling their pickling with others, worrying about themselves, worrying about their pensions and their perks and their privileges. I'd like to see a lot of these 338 politicians line up and pick up a rifle and go fight for a noble cause. Now, there are some veterans that are serving in Parliament as we speak. That's understandable. But there are a lot of parliamentarians that have been there for more than 10 years and have done sweet fuck all in the name of this country. Right? There's a Nikki Ashton that works for, I think, the NDP, who has recently been discovered she spent $17,000 on a family vacation. 17 grand. I could use 17 grand. So could you, ladies and gentlemen, and not just for a family vacation, to get things paid off, to get things leveled up, to get things squared off, whatever additional repairs, and to put back into our savings that we had to actually dip into during the pandemic, because it was really tough for a lot of Canadians to keep meaningful and steady work afloat because of lockdowns and dismissals and questioning the authority, questioning the science. Remember that, how it kids? Yes. Don't question the science. Wear your mask and 6 feet apart. Yes. Those morons now are getting dealt with promptly, which is kind of good. You know, get your just fucking desserts, right? But what do I know? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I was going to queue up a thing with Jagmeet Singh there. However, I'm running out of time here. But needless to say, I think you all see where I'm coming from in this, and I'm pretty sure you have a grasp of reality. I'm not going to be a politician and tell you to suck eggs. I'm not going to talk to you like you're a bunch of school kids or little kids just want to go out and play tetherball. We're all functioning adults here. Doesn't matter if you're a young adult. Doesn't matter if you're 20s or your 30s. It doesn't matter if you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s. I've even had some lovely comments from people in their 70s telling me to keep on going, keep on speaking my mind. And so should you, ladies and gentlemen. So to all my fans and downloaders and subscribers out there, thank you. One more round of applause for you all. Okay? You guys are awesome, and I love you. Keep fighting the good fight is what we got to do. My apologies for not being around yesterday or Friday. I had technical issues again, not with the soundboard, just with the actual laptop this time. But needless to say, I will try to be as consistent as possible too. Okay? Because you guys are worth it. And like I say, if you want to donate and subscribe, keep subscribing, keep liking, keep commenting. If you want to donate, links will be in the description. I would like to get at least, if I could get 25 people that have subscribed, and to actually give me $3 to $5 per episode, or $3 to $5 a month, that would be a great start, ladies and gentlemen. It takes wonderful people like you to make that happen. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine too. I'm not going to force it, but it's out there. I've asked politely, and the best you can do is consider it if you can afford it. And if you can't, that's understandable. But like I said, if I get 25, 30 people that can be consistent and $3 or $5 a month, that would be fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. It would stop a lot of BS on my side of things. But needless to say, that's up to you. But anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I have been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 16th of June, 2024. Keep fighting the good fight, stand up for what's right, and do not take any of the bullshit or word salads that have been constantly drilled in our throats for the past, in our country, the past 9 years by this pseudo-liberal government. There's nothing liberal about them. The NDP, they don't stand for working class. They stand for their own classes. They stand for their perks and privileges. The Conservatives, I don't know. I'm glad that the Conservatives are standing up and putting these people in question, but we got one more week before Parliament stands up for summer to have another glorious holiday. Yeah, like they need 8 weeks off, for God's sakes. Jesus, I could use 8 weeks off. Ugh, I think you could too, ladies and gentlemen. But needless to say, we shall persevere and overcome these dilemmas to the best of our ability. We need to find the light in this manufactured darkness, ladies and gentlemen, and we can do it. So stand high, stand proud, and stand for what this country is, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to take all of us wonderful people to get it done, slowly but surely. Like I said, I've been Crusty Canuck in this beautiful 16th of November, or not November, I'm thinking winter, 16th of June, 2024. I wish good things for you all. Do what you can to help each other these trying times. And like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care, and I'll see you probably Tuesday. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Oh, yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
This has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.
Well, smack my ass and call me Judy.